So let's talk challenges in friendship and grieving former friendships. So today I'm going to use the example of ghosting. So you see, like when a friend randomly withdraws from the friendship or ghosts you, I'd say withdraw or both. Let's use this as an example. I literally just had a conversation with my friend about this when she came here. She passed through my house not too long ago. And I thought, let me do a video about this, especially because I'm doing the subject friendship. So yesterday, we discovered that women value three affinities within their friendship: symmetry, feeling the same as one another; two, emotional support; and three, secrecy. So, like, like when you share your business with your friend and you you can trust each other, in other words, like sharing your business, how deeply you know each other, if you're up to date, like kept in a loop with what's going on with each other, etc., etc. So let's use symmetry as an example. Since we've discovered that women, they love to feel the same as one another, I just feel like friends in general, should I say, they love to, it's very hardly that you'll see somebody be friends with somebody that they can't relate to or they don't feel the same as. People aren't really friends with people that they think are below them or are better than them. It's very unlikely. So if two people have a friendship and then there's that aspect of symmetry that is like going, or one friend feels different to another. Let's say person A can see that person B is progressing, yeah, and then they start comparing their life to person B. That can cause person A to feel some sort of secret animosity, like just start having an issue out of nowhere. Yeah, they keep comparing their life, like, oh, my friend person B, they've everything is going well for them. How come I'm stagnant? How come things are not going well for me? God forbid. But you get what I'm saying. So that can cause person A to withdraw from person B, start ghosting them, or just have a problem. And I understand people outgrow each other. That's not what we're speaking about. We're speaking about like when friends just do weird things to each other, like ghosting, and they just have this issue out of nowhere, which sometimes escalates and leads to additional drama, or sometimes it just like ends and they just have a problem. So this is why it's like within friend, this is why these challenges happen, because of how people feel within themselves against each other and the fact that they don't communicate. And I always say communication is important, but not only is communication important, but being real when you communicate, because it's like you can communicate and say, this is the problem, that's the problem, but that's not the problem. You're not even being real and saying what the problem is. And half of the time, there's no problem. People just be making stuff up. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like communication is important. Being real and true to yourself and how you feel is important. And that's just that. People, they just don't know how to do that nowadays. When people do weird things to you or ghost you or withdraw from you, we can take it personally, but I'd advise not to, because it just is where it is. And people, they hold things in their heart, and sometimes it's really nothing to do with you. It's to do with them and how they feel about themselves. um Grieving friendships is also very possible. I feel like it's not spoken about enough. It's very normal to grieve a friendship, especially if you have integrated that individual deeply into your life. So you have a lot of history with them, a lot of memories, um just a lot. You see that things, if you don't talk to that friend anymore, then things are happening in your life, like happy moments, and you always think like, oh, I missed that friend, or imagine how it will be if they was around, or just little things remind you of them. That's part of like the grieving process. You grieving a former friendship, and it's totally fine. It's totally normal. I also, through the interview that I watched, it was like a what did they say? They said, you see, like with relationships, yeah, grieving friendships can last longer than ex-partners, because with relationships, romantic relationships, you you know that it may not last. You know that it may not last. Whereas with friendships, it's very hard to foresee, because when you become friends with somebody, it's all joy, excitement, laughter, banter, all the good stuff. So it's very hard to foresee, like, oh, me and this friend's gonna fall out over this, or we're not gonna talk. or this and that's going to happen. You don't really expect to fall out with friends. You think that they're going to be there forever. They're going to be a part, they're going to be godparents to your children, a part of your marriage or whatever the weather. So it's like when they do end, it can be harder to get over and harder to replace that friend in that category. Because if you think about it, if you have a friend that you're very, very close to, and you know, you have a lot of memories and stuff, and you guys know a lot about each other, there's a lot at stake. And then if that barrier of trust is broken, like if they use things against you, they do things to really hurt you, that can just leave a hole in your heart. Like you just may not want to trust another friend or anybody else to that capacity. So these things, just in life, it's important to understand yourself, the situations you're involved in, and just keep it a buck. I feel like even if you know that you've done wrong, say like you've been a snaky friend, or you haven't been the best friend, take accountability. You don't have to take accountability with the person, but just be real with yourself, because I feel like there's a lot of people that's in denial. You know that you've done, they know that they've done X, Y, and Z, but they just they don't take accountability. They just move around in this friendship, that friendship, just doing weird things. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like in every situation, reflection and accountability is just so important. And when things go wrong, sometimes people just act weird for the sake of it, and that's to do with them. It's nothing to do with you. But if you have done something, then recognizing what you've done, how you can be a better friend, and so forth. But I just done a full YouTube video about this, and I'm trying to do more TikTok content, in-depth videos and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if the video is going to be out before, probably the video is coming out tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Click the link in my bio, subscribe to my channel, and yeah, I hope this helped somebody. Bye guys.